Jesus commended those who had good faith. A typical example of this was a woman named Syrophoenician. Her desperate appeal was met with praise from Jesus. The story of the Syrophoenician woman seeking healing for her daughter is written in the Gospel of Matthew, Matthew chapter 15, and the Gospel of Mark, Mark 7. Jesus traveled to the region of Tyre and Sidon, which was a Gentile, non-Jewish, area. In Matthew's account, the woman is described as a Canaanite. And in Mark's account, she is referred to as a Syrophoenician. Their account emphasize her non-Jewish background. While the two accounts are similar, there are some differences in details. Today I provide the Matthew story of her. Leaving that place, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman from that vicinity came to him, crying out, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is demon-possessed and suffering terribly." Jesus did not answer a word. So his disciples came to him and urged him, "Send her away, for she keeps crying out after us." He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." The woman came and knelt before him. "Lord, help me," she said. He replied, "It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." "Yes, it is, Lord," she said. "Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus said to her, "Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted." And her daughter was healed at that moment. The initial response of Jesus in the story may indeed sound like a cold rejection. However, understanding Jesus' intention in this interaction involves considering the cultural and historical context of the time. At first, Jesus responds to the woman's plea by saying, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Jesus might be emphasizing the priority of his mission to the Jewish people. The term dogs, used by Jesus in the dialogue, was commonly used by Jews to refer to Gentiles. While it may sound harsh, some interpretations suggest that Jesus is using this metaphor to highlight the priority of his ministry to the Jews. However, the woman's response is crucial. Instead of being deterred or offended, she persists in her faith and humility, saying, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Her reaction is astonishing. Even in shameful and humiliating moments. There is a great deal of faith in motherhood to cure her daughter's disease and the grace of Jesus' healing. Her response demonstrates profound faith, humility, and a recognition of Jesus' authority. In response to her faith, Jesus commends her and grants her request for healing. This turn in the story underscores Jesus' recognition of genuine faith, regardless of the person's background. It's important to interpret this passage within the broader context of Jesus' ministry, his mission to reach all people, and the unfolding narrative of the Gospels. The story of the Syrophoenician woman provides 7 valuable lessons for Christians. 1. Persistence in faith. The woman's persistence in seeking Jesus for her daughter's healing. Despite initial challenges and what seemed like a cold response, demonstrates the power of persistence in faith. Christians are encouraged to persist in prayer and trust God even when faced with apparent obstacles. 2. Recognition of our need for mercy. The woman approached Jesus with a humble acknowledgement of her need for mercy. She recognized Jesus as the source of healing and appealed to him with humility. This teaches Christians the importance of acknowledging our dependence on God's mercy and approaching Him with humility in our prayers. 3. Inclusivity of God's grace. Jesus' eventual response to the woman highlights the inclusivity of God's grace. While his initial words might seem exclusive, the woman's faith transcends cultural boundaries, and Jesus commends her for it. This serves as a reminder to Christians that God's love and grace are available to all, regardless of background or ethnicity. 4. Boldness in prayer. The woman demonstrated boldness in her request, even in the face of what might have seemed like rejection. Christians can learn to approach God with boldness in their prayers, trusting in His goodness and ability to respond to their needs. 5. Faith can overcome cultural barriers. The encounter between Jesus and the Syrophoenician woman challenges cultural expectations. It underscores the idea that faith can overcome cultural barriers and that God's love is not limited by human categories. Christians are reminded to value the faith of individuals, recognizing that God's grace extends to all. 6. Response to challenges. The story teaches Christians to respond with faith and resilience in the face of challenges. The woman's unwavering faith, despite the initial obstacles, led to the healing of her daughter. Christians are encouraged to face challenges with faith, trusting that God can work through difficult situations. 7. Jesus as the ultimate healer. The story reinforces the belief that Jesus is the ultimate healer and source of hope. Christians are reminded to turn to Jesus in times of need, confident that He has the power to bring healing and restoration. In summary, the episode of the Syrophoenician woman encourages Christians to approach God with persistence, humility, and boldness in prayer. Recognizing the inclusivity of God's grace and the transformative power of faith in overcoming cultural barriers. It also emphasizes the importance of acknowledging our need for God's mercy and trusting in Jesus as the ultimate source of healing and hope.